Also on Capitol Hill, some progress today on an infrastructure bill. Republican and Democratic negotiators in the Senate say they have an agreement. Joining us now is California Congresswoman Karen Bass of Los Angeles. I watched you just a couple of minutes ago during that story about Pelosi versus McCarthy, and at the mention of the word moron, I couldn't help but notice you chuckled a little bit. Reflective perhaps of the rancor that exists between the two parties in the House. There's been talk now that we're very close to this infrastructure package, but Pelosi at this point not committing that it's going to definitely pass the House, the one that they've come up with and dealt with in the Senate. Are you hopeful that you're going to have a bill?
Oh, I'm very hopeful that we will have a bill, but let me just say that one of the reasons why she's saying that is because we don't know what exactly is in the Senate bill. And we know one of the earlier discussions was really eliminating or reducing money for public transportation. So in part, we need to know what it is that is in their bill. But also, you know, Pelosi and the House Democrats very much want to see a human infrastructure bill that would be passed through reconciliation. And that would provide for child care and education, a lot of things that people need in communities, and to not just view infrastructure as roads and bridges.
Another very important piece of legislation is the Justice in Policing Act, the bill that you introduced. It's the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, and it's passed the House, still not voted on in the Senate. Where does it stand right now, and what are your thoughts on whether that's going anywhere?
Well, I certainly hope it is going somewhere. I was over in the Senate today meeting with Senator Booker. I'll be back tomorrow meeting with Senator Scott. And so we are continuing our conversations, and we certainly hope that the Senate will be able to get something across the finish line. As you mentioned, we did our work in the House. We passed the bill in March. The Senate will be in session next week, so we can keep hope alive for a couple more weeks. But, you know, oftentimes, Mark, and you know this, when it seems as though things are done, nothing is going to happen at the last minute, suddenly a compromise appears. So I have my fingers crossed that we're at that moment now.
All right. And speaking of moments, a very powerful moment yesterday on Capitol Hill, the January 6th Commission hearing yesterday, those police officers testifying about what they endured. What are your thoughts after what you saw yesterday? We presume you witnessed at least part of it. And do you expect that commission to use its subpoena power for reluctant witnesses who might include your own colleagues in the House?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. While the investigation goes on. And, you know, the FBI continues to investigate. And I will not be shocked if members of the House are investigated by the FBI, maybe even indicted. I'm sure the committee will subpoena various people, especially those individuals in the Republican caucus who were speaking to the former president on January 6th, trying to get him to intervene. Now, mind you, some of their offices were broken into as well, and they tried to get him to call off his supporters. But let me just also mention, this is the party that talks about Blue Lives Matter. This is the party that talks about Democrats want to defund the police. And here they are defending people who physically attacked police and threatened to kill the former vice president.
All right. Representative Karen Bass, we look forward to speaking with you again on this and many other subjects. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And stay